What's going on, everybody? Welcome to Alone Together Pittsburgh. I am your host, Patrick Jordan. Here we are starting week 51, episode 154 of Alone Together Pittsburgh, streaming at you live from, obviously, Pittsburgh, Pennsylvania. Thank you for coming here tonight, or staying where you are tonight, welcoming us into your homes or mobile devices. If it's your first time watching, welcome. We're on episode 154. We've been doing this thing since a little bit before the shelter-in-place order came down from the state. So it's kind of crazy that we're still here right now. So thank you for being here with us. We have a fantastic show lined up for you tonight. John and Rachel from the Jagoff podcast are here finally. We're big fans. And then Erin Hart is going to be part of, part of our Farm to Table, Buy Fresh, Buy Local segment. She's going to be talking to us a little bit about spring and some other things that are coming on right now that you should be excited about in the Farm to Table world and community. But before we do that, got a couple of little pieces of housekeeping to take care of. Ticking below me on the screen right there, that is our Venmo. It is at TogetherPGH. If you have the means to kick in a couple of bucks, we would greatly appreciate it. Doesn't have to be a lot of money. $1, $3, $5, anything. If you give $500, you get to be a guest on the show. That's the truth. And the money raised goes to the artists involved in the show on any given night. So please check that out right there. Another couple of things here. It's a pandemic. We're still in the middle of a pandemic. So we go over it every night. The COVID numbers in Allegheny County for today, there's a glimmer here. There's a glimmer. We're under 200. Okay. Allegheny County was 186. Okay. Which means we're trending in the right direction. Yes, vaccines are starting to come. The president said that by the end of May, every adult that wants one can get a vaccine. That's cool. Believe it when I get the pinch. But in the meantime, please just everyone keep on wearing your masks. Don't be a JAG. Just put on
a fucking mask.
Bruce Springsteen's allowed to swear on the show. I usually do not. But the boss has a way with words sometimes. Imagine him saying that, but not like in an uncovered Jeep. But the boss says so, you do so too. Another thing, keep on washing your hands. That's something that you could probably take with you for the rest of your life. Just keep on washing your hands. Keep the social distancing going right now. We can do it. We can get through this stuff. But thank you for everybody that's doing it and keeping that going. So that aside, now we have something else fun to talk about. We have a little in-show poll here brought to you by Engine House 25 Wines. Engine House 25 Wines, if you go to eh25.com, you can find the entire selection that they have there. They have 8 or 9 different killer reds. They also have some whites. They have a Sauvignon Blanc. They have Chardonnay. They also have a Rosé. Get on it right there. It's also home to the Roberto Clemente Museum if you're curious to where it is. It's right there in Doughboy Square on Penn, where Penn Avenue kind of connects the Strip District in Lawrenceville right there in Doughboy Square. EH25. And if you tell them at EH25 that you found out about them from Alone Together Pittsburgh, you get $5 off per bottle. That's $5 off per bottle. Go to Engine House 25 Winery, eh25.com. Tell them we sent you. They're doing some free delivery in the immediate area during the pandemic, and they're also doing curbside if you're still worried about it. And I believe their tasting room might be open. You can find all that about eh25.com. But we have something here that we have on the show. This is our Lil Jagoff poll. All right, our little in-show poll, since we haven't gone back to the overnight thing since the crowning of the cookie table, when the cookie table toppled Kurt Angle to be the winner of the original Jagoff bracket poll. But get that going there right now. Dave, do you want to tell him what tonight's in-show poll is?
Hey, Patrick, you're my friend. Pete's my friend. Sometimes 1 + 1 + 1 is more than 3. I'd say about 5. How's that sound to you?
Sounds good, buddy. Take it from here, buddy.
All right, ladies and gentlemen, you know what happens. When I find myself in times of trouble, Mother Mary comes to me and says, get together with all of your friends, come together. It's time to collaborate. And tonight's Little Jag is all about little collaborations, small collaborations that have got us through these trying times. That's right, your favorite collabs. Is it the ye old Hotbox, where Hotbox came together with Wiz Khalifa for all sorts of tasty concoctions? Was it Cardi B and Megan talking about those parts? Is it the monkey face, monkey tail on my face? Or Johnson & Johnson and Merck coming together? Let's vote, Pittsburgh. This is it for your Facebook people only, because we don't care about you YouTubers or you Twitchers. You're too young. We don't want to play Minecraft with you, so just screw off, podcasters. Boom. This is it. This is for the Facebook lovers out there. So Godspeed. Votes start now.
So that's collaboration.
Don't let us down. Don't let us down, Patrick, either. That's the other thing. Don't let me and Pete down. That's the thing about a collaboration, Patrick, you need to know. Because if you let me and Pete down again, that's the sound of your throat being cut by me and Pete. Just so you know.
So it's collaborations, folks. Different things that were collaborations that happen. I got you, Pete. I feel you. Won't call you repeat. Won't happen. Just regular old Pete. So anyway, that's it. The collaboration. So I think the Megan Thee Stallion, the song WAP. That came out. That was a pandemic. That came out during the pandemic. The Johnson and Johnson's thing. That's a huge deal. If you don't know, they're rival companies are working together to do that. And then and then Wiz having his own little delivery takeout munchy stuff. And then Dave's face with that monkey tail that happened a while ago. Do we have a photo of that, Dave? Do you want to bring up a photo of you with that monkey tail face?
I should, right? I should have one on dial up.
Get it for later in the show. That's cool. But that's it. So thank you. And if anybody, we have this thing where we were looking for helpers that we started off in the show, because when we started the show, it was not, I think it was the day after, or before, it was the day before Fred Rogers' birthday. And so we started looking for the helpers to shine a light on things, to shine a light on people who were helping out during the pandemic. And last Friday's show, we thought was a perfect way. It was Pittsburgh Cares, where we had, if you want to go back and watch that show at some point, if you're interested in volunteering at all with any organization in Pittsburgh, we had 20 different organizations in Pittsburgh. They're looking for volunteers and how to do it. It was rapid fire. It was like 2 hour show. It was like a marathon of like goodness and like love. So there's 20 different organizations and 5 or 6 different people from the city, including the mayor, popped on and talked about different things that you could do to give back, or if you needed help, where you could get it. So that would be a good thing to go and check down on that. Dave, how are you feeling after that? That was a hard show for you to call.
Nah, that wasn't bad. It was you. You guys were working the scene, but that was like 15,000 guests, which was pretty awesome. But the Pittsburgh Care folks, man, I mean, Alicia and Amanda, they did a killer job. That was a killer lineup. The vibes were right. Good show.
All right. I liked it. It was pretty good. Speaking of good show, we're lined up for some good shows for the rest of this week, too. I mean, tonight's going to be hot, like molten lava. But the rest of the week, tomorrow night, Kate Romaine is going to be with us. Chef Kate is going to be doing her thing. And also, we're going to have somebody from Allegheny Eats talking about a milestone that they're going to be turning very soon on Thursday. That's going to be a hot show. Then Friday, we got Zoob himself. He's going to be playing some music, talking about his podcast, talking about what he's got coming up. Also, we've got Dave Bracey, who's got some wicked good news that he's going to be breaking that you may have seen on the social media. He's got that going.
We're going to need a new graphic, I think.
We might need a new graphic. I think it might be time for that. And also, let's not forget Natalie Bensavenga is going to be doing her segment, 5 Minutes With Natalie Bensavenga. That's coming up on Friday. This is Bunny Cam. If you didn't want to know, the best things come to Bunny. And look at that. Hey, what's going on? All right. Got everybody in there. Hey, Sophie. How's it going? All right. So I'm not getting a wave back, but Bunny, that's you're not allowed to react on that camera, apparently. So that's what happens. It's a nice dog. Anyway, we're going to get things rolling here right now. Coming up first, very excited to have them on the show. Been wanting to have them on since basically we started this thing, but pandemic stuff happens. They have it's an award-winning podcast that has quickly become one of the most iconic Pittsburgh podcasts, in my personal opinion. They just celebrated their 5th year anniversary of the show, which I can't believe that at the same time that it's been 5 years and that it's only been 5 years. And they've got a new beer coming out right now. Let's give them the introduction that they deserve. Let's give them their own introduction. Dave, roll tape.
According to the Oxford Dictionary, the word Jagoff is defined as a noun, which means a stupid, irritating, or...
Here's how Pittsburghers define a word Jagoff. When someone cuts you off on a parkway.
Jagoff! Or someone scares the out of you.
Yeah, Jagoff!
Or it's a term of endearment.
How you been, Jagoff?
Hey, everybody's Jim Crenn.
I'm Jackie Kane.
This is Mark Madden.
Hi, this is Larry Richard.
This is Kevin Wild Bill.
Hey, this is Kurt Angle.
Hi, this is Rocky Blair.
Hey, it's Bonnie Diver.
Hi, I'm Mike Wysocki.
This is John Steigerwald.
Hey, it's Rick Seaback.
Hi, this is Greg Brown.
Hi, I'm Tyler Kennedy.
This is Santonio Holmes.
And this is the Jagoff Podcast.
Unbelievable. Let's bring them out. John and Rachel, the Jagoff Podcast, with all the guests we wish we could have had. All in one little tight little capsule. How's it going, guys? Welcome to Alone Together.
Hold on a minute, because we have to say,
I can't go that quickly.
Your voice is one of the first voices heard on that.
Oh my, my claim to fame, my minutes of my Yinzer, my Pittsburghese.
I don't even think it sounds all that yinzer. There's many worse than that.
It's not. It's just a little. I'm honored to be on that tape right there. I'm honored. I can't.
Arm twisting one day at a boxing ring, if you recall.
That's right. That was a wrestling ring, my friend. That was the wrestling day. We had that was one of the most fun things. I mean, you put together. I don't know how you did it. There was you were in the big sumo wrestling suit.
Yeah.
At one point, there was all kinds of there was Zorg. There was all kinds of different wrestling stuff on there. So how's it going, man? You guys are killing it right now. 5 years. Congratulations.
Thanks. Actually, since you just had this little bromance, I have to kind of cut it up and remind you that your theater was one of the first podcasts when I started. Oh, so that's kind of a pretty cool thing. John actually set it up. If you remember, Patrick, he had Andy Sheehan because, I act like Andy Sheehan. Everything's like, why? So he surprised me and Andy Sheehan was there. And that was like our, third or fourth podcast.
Yeah, right.
So, and it was like star-studded. It was you and him and Lieutenant Governor, so it was like sink or swim now, Reach. So,
That's so funny. That's so funny. I think, well, that's great. Well, I'm honored to be there for your first time here, and you guys have just been running with it, man. You guys literally, I mean, everybody talks about you guys. You guys win awards, but there's a beer.
Right.
Let's talk about the important things.
Yeah, right.
Yeah, let's start with that, then work on the rest.
Right, and unfortunately, we don't even have one to sort of take hand you because it's not coming out until April Fool's Day.
Of course.
But North Country Brewing up in Slippery Rock has created a Jagoff beer, and we went through some polling, like you guys do polling. We were trying to see if we should get a strawberry jello pretzel salad beer, and which they said they could make, but we were afraid that we'd lose our.
We put it out there. We did put it out there,
yeah.
And I want to say it got like a dozen votes.
Yeah,
it wasn't over the top. Yeah. Because when you think about it, for a beer, I mean, you want to eat it, but you don't want to drink something like that. Yeah,
you got a little logo. There we go.
So it became the poll was a light lager. So April Fool's Day, there will be no fooling. It'll be a Jagoff beer coming out at a few bars, and you can actually pre-order on our website as well. You can't pay for it because the whole legal
it's a whole liquor
thing.
Liquor
but
rule.
Yeah, you can reserve a case for a 6-pack on our website.
Yeah.
I'm gonna be honest. I'm glad it's a light lager. I can't. Everybody's loving IPAs and the heavy, the triple hops and stuff. Now I either go on a light lager or I go for like a stout. So I would like to, and I think it actually fits more the light lager with the whole. With the vibe when you've got 2 parking chairs and a snowy street.
There you go.
Yeah, that's the parking chair in its actual element. Yes, it's like going to the zoo and seeing a bear in its environment. That's a parking chair in its natural environment.
So John, what I want to know, I want to go back in time, a little time machine here. What made you start the podcast?
Well, it's funny you say that because we just connected up with this guy. So the blog was happening. It was something I did when I was laid off from a job. And I was a few years into it. It was a hobby, just a side gig and doing my thing. And there's a guy by the name of Jason Falls who's out of Louisville, Kentucky and has a big connection here in Pittsburgh. And sent him a note and said, hey, do you think like there's something here? Can I make some money from it? And so he did this whole sort of dive into the website. And then he said, by the way, I think you need to start a podcast. And I thought, oh, Jesus, I need one more free thing to do with my time, right? And so started the podcast. And as we said, 5 years. On Light Up Night, it hit its 5 years. And the cool thing is, I'm not saying it because she's sitting here, is that one day when Rachel said, hey, what's going on? She first wanted to bring a sponsor. And then she's like, how do we get involved? And we partnered up. And it's the first person I've ever met who owned it in her mind, her heart, and her soul, all the way down to the very bones. And thankfully, because of the partnership, the podcast has had the ability to grow. And we've been quite lucky.
That's amazing.
Really?
And well, I also was, we started the show and there was like big names and iconic names that you guys have interviewed, but you guys interview a whole wide variety of people. It's not just like a star-studded lineup. I mean, it is from Pittsburgh. Everybody that's on your show should be Pittsburgh famous, but like everybody that's on that on your intro reel from Kurt Angle. Kurt Angle, by the way, literally was a terrifying force in our bracket poll. Out of 64, he blew through everybody by like 10 times what everybody was getting. And then when he went up against Michael Keaton, we had very few human beings in the poll. And somehow it broke down that Kurt Angle went up against Michael Keaton. Wow. And it was like it kind of broke our internet. And Kurt beat Michael Keaton only to fall to the cookie table because the moms mobilized.
Right.
Understood.
Is basically what happened. But anyway, yeah, you guys have a wide variety of people from all walks. And I think that's what's kind of cool about it.
I think you hit the nail on the head. Pittsburgh, we always boast about the fact that we've just evolved in so many different industries. Even we're a foodie town now. Who would have thought that? Obviously hospitality right now isn't at its finest, but we're rebirthing, right? The whole COVID thing is what it is, and we're pivoting and such. Mm-hmm. But so many of the accolades that Pittsburgh has gotten, I think 15 years ago, who would have thought? So as Pittsburgh evolves, it's so important because you have to continue to tell that, we're all storytellers in some way. But, like we always say, it was so cool to have a conversation with whomever, mm-hmm. One of my favorites is Pete Hewlett, who tells the story about when he sang with George Harrison and Paul McCartney. Yeah. Super cool story. But I also really enjoyed hearing about the Astrobotic guy, because that's the new thing here in Pittsburgh. So just the fact that we're from this city that's known for these things now, and we're evolving into this amazing new mecca is cool. So I think there's just so many. I don't think we could ever if we repeated someone, it would be a completely different story to be told because there's just so much content.
And, we like unique jobs. Like we had the guy who, you had to figure there is, but who knew there's a guy that is in charge of manicuring the ice at PPG Paints Arena for the Penguins. He has strict rules that he abides by. They brought him in from like Minnesota to be here because he's like the ice whisperer. Yeah. So it's cool to talk to him, and figure out like, wow, there actually is somebody. This isn't just a bunch of Hanyaks out there throwing water down on your driveway.
Right.
Manicuring the ice.
Yes. And the other week we interviewed a North Allegheny graduate that is a mission-ready astronaut.
If you asked me to put in an envelope who John would say his favorite, like I could have just rattled those two off like that because I knew that's what he was going to say. I mean, it was cool, but he's like an astronaut geek.
We love the cool jobs. The celebrity thing is okay, but there's so many people doing great things. Though the CEO of the YWCA was on, talking about things, and it's just it's a pleasure to talk about serious things and then have a lighthearted kind of side to it as well.
And a lot of the times, I think that the superstars who we talk to, like we always tell the story that Arthur Moats was on our podcast once a month. We never talked football, and he was known for football. And finally, he hadn't been on for a while, and we were like, why don't you come on and we'll actually interview you? And he told us the story about Brett Favre. We hadn't known it for like 2 years that he took out Brett Favre and he was on ESPN. They called him and he's in the locker room and he has to explain, like, I didn't know I knocked him out and he's never coming back, to football.
He was the last. Oh, God, that's right. I remember
he broke his Ironman record. So, it was crazy.
That's the cool part.
And then we have no status whatsoever because we do these porch tours every summer. We go to somebody's porch, set up a party when we're not in COVID. Right. And we had Cyril Wecht and Santonio Holmes on a podcast
together.
And literally,
who got who got the most words in?
Oh, Cyril.
I was going to say, right.
So Cyril Wecht, we asked him one question. It was just, started. And then he basically were like, thank you so much for coming on our podcast. We're so gracious. He goes, I got to go talk to Santonio Holmes.
He's having a question for him.
Okay. He took over.
It's just us. It's just us.
We love
the unique people that are in Pittsburgh. And that's what we
Natalie Besavenga interviewed Cyril on our show, and she has this 5 minutes with segment. And she basically said, this is Cyril Wecht. And he started, and he gave the first 7 minutes of the 5 minutes was just him keeping her up to speed on what he's done. And he was like, just to get this out of the way.
Yeah, right. I get it, but he's great.
No, he's amazing. Yeah, he's still working. He's 89 years old. He's still working he's still down at the morgue, but he's still doing it. Yeah. but he's still getting it done. But anyway, that's amazing. Yeah, I mean, I found like just some of the people that we had on here that we never thought we'd have, like that would kind of like fall into that thing. We had a guy ran a 47-mile marathon in his backyard.
Oh my God!
He raised like maybe $5 or $6 grand for the food bank, and he was just going to run 10 miles, and he doesn't have a big backyard. He lives like in Uptown. And he literally just ran circles in his little backyard till he got to 47,000. Like his neighbors were nuts. It was just like people doing crazy stuff here. So it was
that's so cool, though. I love it.
Well, those are the things I remember, though. We've had like 500 guests since we started doing this, and I mean, I remember everybody, surely, but everybody was amazing. But it's like some of them just like kind of pop out right out of the way there.
Well, there's so many people in Pittsburgh that people know, but they don't know, like the sax man outside of the stadium, right? You know, he kind of, jerks around everybody as they're walking across the bridge, but nobody knows his name's Reggie, and how he got to do this. And that's a Pittsburgher that everybody knows, but nobody really knows.
Totally iconic. Yeah. Okay. So, who else would fall into that category? Of a Pittsburgher who like you kind of know what this person is, but you don't know him. Like you don't know like the name is Reggie. I mean, that was like the perfect ideal one. I don't mean to put you guys on the spot.
Was good. No, that's okay. I'm trying to think who else. Like, get out. I do find myself saying.
We had one time we had a mail delivery person on who was anonymous and talked about how crappy the Christmas gifts are. Now the funny part is 2 weeks before that, he was my actual mail delivery person, and my dog bit him. So then he came on to talk about how my dog was a Jagoff. But it's funny just to hear their story about, the gifts that people give and things like that. So again, another like hometown nondescript
when you don't
person.
think that you prepare yourself for the balance of the show, right? And you're like, well, this is a namer or someone that people probably want to hear about. Not necessarily a celebrity, but balance, right? And then we have this unique job that maybe not everybody's interested in, but then that turns out to trump the other one because it's a unique job and people are interested. You know what I mean? I think that's the cool part is that balance that you think that you're creating really.
Yeah, I feel like that's what separates you guys too, that you guys can have all of that on your show. So how often are you guys doing episodes?
Every week. We never miss.
Right.
Every Saturday. We did take off for Christmas, but not New Year's. So that's yeah.
Now,
so
how did you guys find doing it like during a pandemic? I mean, because a lot of your stuff, you guys were like with people,
Correct. Yeah, and still, the truth be told, it's still been challenging. And so, you kind of figure out people's comfort zone. I think we've said when I really came on board, John was really in a studio for a while. And what we liked was we created like the whole noun sentence, right? So we had the people, the thing. So the people were the guests, the thing were the topics. But what was the place? And so it sort of created this whole trifecta of now we can be at a place, and that's another thing that you talk about. So our background is always a unique place in Pittsburgh. So to us, that was super important. That stopped for about 3 months, where we literally did more than that.
We did it all by Zoom.
It was all Zoom.
Yeah. And it was really freaky, but
it was. I mean, it was just. It took. What was cool, the silver lining was. We talked to people we didn't think we would be able to. People who were Pittsburgh people who moved to LA, that we would not have had it been different or had they been on site. So while we lost the component of the on site, or talking about a location, we gained uniqueness in the topic or the person.
Pittsburgh's in California. Yeah. There's a great guy working with who's the actor out there, the Avenger actor.
Robert Downey Jr.
Right. There's a Pittsburgh guy working with Robert Downey Jr. And he does all these things with Robert Downey. So we were going to have him on the podcast talking about all the positivity that he works on. Yeah. It was totally cool, we would.
Or Burton Morris. Yeah. We talked to Burton Morris. Like, how cool was that? And it's one thing if you hear him talking from the History Center because he's talking about why his art is there. But when you're talking to him about what he liked about Squirrel Hill, it's super cool,
That's cool. Robert Downey spent some time in Pittsburgh.
Yeah. His mom was here. Yeah. His mom was here.
Yeah.
Cool.
So that's so maybe you guys can bag Iron Man.
Well,
I don't know if we accept that challenge.
Question for you. I mean, do you guys think that the Pittsburgh well ever runs dry in terms of content.
Yeah, that's what I mean. You know, we've been asked that before. I really don't. Like, when we're planning, there's always that bucket list, or we'll go, you know, like you just said, oh my gosh, you know, when he texted you about you didn't get our February 10th card, it was like, oh my gosh, when was the last time we had Patrick on? It's now been 3 years because, you know, that was one of my first, like, kind of coming on. But yeah, I think, like I said, you maybe repeat for reason that they're like back in the news or trending or a specific topic, but I don't think we would.
Yeah,
I think there's so
because
much.
Again, there's so many of these Pittsburgh characters. We have yet to have Andy, the sushi guy from Woolies, on. You know,
oh god,
who doesn't know that guy, right?
Yeah.
And just all those different characters and the cool things that are going on. It sounds nerdy. We sound 90 years old when I say it's the cool things going on in Pittsburgh, but it is. There's so much going on. I mean, there's the guy from Good Deeds Pittsburgh, John. Well, right? The guy just keeps doing good deeds. It's crazy.
Yeah. Or you're on a kick now about getting the groundskeepers from each of the sports.
Yeah.
You know, like he's like, why didn't we do that before? I don't know.
See, now I feel like I'm in like a production meeting with you guys right now. Like, ooh, you guys should talk to this person. Like it's just,
well, we should do that.
Yeah, there you go.
Yeah. Oh my gosh. Yeah.
Yes,
we
spring is coming up, so everybody's going to be cutting their lawns. So why wouldn't we have the main groundskeeper from, you know, Heinz Field on to tell you how to clear your lawn?
I would like to hear that, because that is a scientific marvel of a field. I mean, that is not just your regular grass. Right. That is almost like a Bill Murray from Caddyshack patented featherbed bends in Northern California Sensimilla mix from the guys at Penn State. I remember hearing about how amazing the grass was going to be at Heinz Field. And then this was probably, oh gosh, this has to be 10 years ago or more. And then there was that one game that we played against Miami that it flooded. It was right. They put the sod on it, and I remember that like the punt plugged, like a punt like plugged like a golf ball. Yeah, I remember I was at that game in the rain, and I was like, you could see like pieces of the field floating away. So I mean, that's yeah, that was pretty amazing. Okay, so we're starting to fight the clock here. All right, some of the favorite things that you guys. Okay, we got NASA with John. What about you? What about what do you think of like some famous, not famous, favorite interviews or funny things that happen? Like it doesn't have to be like a moment that was great.
Oh, you know, one of the funny things that happen are the sense of humor of Greg Brown. You don't necessarily
another fanboy.
I fanboy that guy incredibly because when he comes on, we never talk baseball. But boy, the way that guy, we drove Steve Blass and Greg Brown around on a video in a car. It was one of the funniest. We laughed so hard just because the way they interact with each other, and they just go right along with the jokes and all that kind of stuff. So I just think that some of my funnier moments are that. And I'm trying to think of, you know.
I think something that was cool that we found out that we didn't expect was Tommy James and the Shondells, like Moni Moni, and what's another one? I think We're Alone Now. You know, they're the main guy is from Greensburg, and so it's not Tommy James, but it's Mike Vale. And he's a friend of our family, and we had him on because we wanted to know about what it was like, you know, back in the day as far as music. And so we were like, he said, no one knew Moni Moni was going to be this great. And we were like, Johnson, like, where did you come up with the name Moni Moni? And he said, I was standing, to help me because I always forget what it is.
They said they were in New York City on a patio, like a you know,
like a rooftop. And
right.
looked outside and saw Money of New York.
Yeah, MNY. It was something of New York. It was M-O-N-Y.
I thought it was
yeah. It was M-O-N-Y.
Whatever, but that was.
That's how
and
they
then
got the name.
They got the beat, and they were like, "Money of New York, Monet," and like that's exactly like who would have thought? Like here it is, Billy Idol redoes this whole song that becomes this phenom yet again, and you looked at a blinking sign. That's like us, like Alcoa.
Well, that could be it. I mean, that's the hit, Alcoa. That's coming up next. Right. We're going to talk some more. Did you know the one of the head writers from the Spinners is from Aliquippa, the Steele brothers, Melvin and Marvin.
Yeah, Marvin Stills.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh yeah. Yeah. Melvin was my junior high teacher. He was my English teacher in junior high.
That's cool.
How cool is that?
Pretty amazing. I was one of the only people in the class that knew the song, but like everybody, I was like, they got a lot of hits. Very smooth. But anyway, that's awesome, guys. So before we go, is there anything you guys have coming up? I know you guys just had a really kick-ass Valentine's show.
We did. It was so much. Listen, we were not expecting it. Back to the whole, COVID. You don't know what it's going to be like. We've done 2 of them at the Arcade Comedy Theater. We raised money for, various charities, whoever the celebrity charities are. But we did it virtually, and we had Giselle and the Lieutenant Governor, and we had the ladies from Y108, and
we had Ray Petlin and his daughter from the Hey Ray videos.
Yeah.
And it was a blast. And
it was a good pairing of people, too.
And Erin, he was our judge. And we just had a great time that night. It was just awesome.
Yeah, people seem
for
to
us
enjoy
to be, we'd like to say we wrote it that way, but we literally didn't. And it came out really just because the guests were completely awesome and willing to play with us, which is what we always like.
Like what I'm dealing with tonight. The guests are really awesome. And they're willing to play. So I'll ask you one last question. We have an in-show poll here. So usually it's Pittsburgh centric, but I figured you guys it's all well-worn territory for you. So we went with collaborations during the pandemic.
Yeah.
So where do you guys fall in this? Well, one of them has a Pittsburgh hook. It was Wiz Khalifa's Hotbox. His oh man, people are really voting on this one. We really hit pay dirt on this one. I thought of this one about 5 minutes before the show started.
I'm gonna win.
Oh my God, Dave's facial.
I'm gonna win this one.
Cardi B and Megan Thee Stallion song WAP.
Sorry,
Johnson. I can't believe that nobody voted for the Johnson & Johnson collaboration. I thought
Eat it, JJ.
That was the no-brainer. Anyway, well, whatever. So take it down, Dave. Take it down.
No.
All right,
listen,
what do you guys?
I vote for Dave's face. This is the first time I've ever seen Dave's face. So whatever has Dave's face on is what I'm voting for.
I'm going with Khalifa, even though there's 0% because we're Pittsburgh.
I'm with that. Dave, before we let these guys go, have you found that picture of the monkey tail face?
I got no picture of my monkey tail. I'm so depressed about that. I did all the work. You know what I mean? I did the work. I went the mile. Okay. I ran the marathon, and I got nothing to show for it.
So what we ended up doing one night, we right after those Bernie memes were going crazy, like the day of the inaugurations. So that night we did a Bernie meme off on the show, and we brought in 3 judges. Giselle Fetterman was one of them, and we had 3 judges. And while we went through I think 20 were Pittsburgh centric and 20 were national and TV shows and movie stuff, plug-in stuff. And then one of the judges was Joe King. I don't know if you know him. He's fantastic. Oh, yeah. Okay, so Joe went, Dave, you know what you need to do with your beard, and turned his phone around. And it was, I forget the picture, that had his beard come down.
Oh, yeah.
And it came around to the mustache and ended there. And
all right, I found it. It's disgusting. It makes me so... I can't believe it.
Challenge Dave. And the next day, Dave actually shaved the monkey tail into his beard because...
Oh, my God.
I mean, I figured, Dave, you figured it was the pandemic, right? If you were ever going to do it, now's the time. No one's going to see you.
Well, that's the thing.
Anyway.
I feel like we're not taking advantage of COVID styles. Like we should all be, you figure a Mad Max thing would be the look of the day. You know what I mean? And everybody's kind of kept it real normcore for the entire pandemic. I think we should all embrace that. So I went with I was like, monkey tail, sign me up. Now I'm disgusted with myself.
Listen, I voted for you because I appreciate the uniqueness that COVID has brought to everybody.
There you go.
Well, there you go. Dave's facial hair is the silver lining, folks, that we've been waiting for about 12 months. Anyway, guys, thank you so much for being here with us tonight. If you ever want to come back, open door policy, just pick anything you got. And the beer comes out on April 1st. Do you have anything to add before we move on?
Just a commit. We're online. We're live. A committal from you guys to come on our podcast.
Oh, anytime, man.
All right.
We are in. Alone Together Pittsburgh is signing up. Dave, are you in?
I'm so in.
Pete Spinda, are you in? Pete, he's not there, is he? No, there he is. Okay. Pete's in. Bunny, you in? Okay, Bunny's in too. All right. So sold. Hey guys, thank you so much, John and Rach. Thank you guys. Good luck with everything, and you can catch a new your Jagoff podcast every week, nonstop, unless maybe it's Christmas. But that's it. All right, thank you guys for everything that you're doing, and keep up the good work.
Oh, thanks you too.
You too.
Thanks, guys. It is a really good podcast. I highly recommend it to everyone to listen to it. Their chemistry is like on point too, and you can feel like the love for the city and their guests and their choice. So anyway, Jackie Page just in time. Beer just in time for my birthday. There you go, Jackie. How's everything going?
I would try that beer.
It sounds like it's right up my alley, Pete. Yours too.
Yeah, I was an Icy Light man for a long time.
What happened?
I stopped drinking, and then I tried one a couple weeks ago, and
the palate totally shifted.
Just shifted, yeah.
Unbelievable. I can imagine that. Iron City's like I guess that was I see Light especially. I guess it's more of like an acquired taste.
You know, in the summer, I think in the summer, and maybe it's because it's winter, it's cold. You know, like a cold like light beer is like it's a good summer beverage. You know, you're working outside, crack a cold one, sit on the deck. You know, just hang out.
I'll go all day with a light lager.
Yeah,
I'm just saying. But Icy Light, maybe it'll come back. But you were a fan of the mango too. I hate to see what your new cleansed palate's going to do when you taste that. That's not really mango. You know what I mean? Like when you taste
it's just like, you don't even, it's like Kool-Aid or something.
But anyway.
I'm a fan.
Wait, you're a fan of Icy Light or Icy Light Mango?
Mango. I was the first person, I like the poo-poo things. And I was really poo-pooing that. But man, first time I got my lips around an Icy Light Mango, forget it. I'm a believer.
I don't think I've ever had a straight up Icy Light Mango, but what I did have at Scratch Food and Beverage up there on Troy Hill with Dan Cortez lookalike himself runs the joint. They made almost like a margarita, but they actually distilled Icy Light Mango into like a simple syrup somehow. They did some way to break it down, and it was killer. I was all about it. I had 3 of them. They ran out. I came back the next day. They were like, no, we ran out, like for the year. So when
you got to start with quality ingredients, and I think there you go. The proof is in the pudding. You can't distill something that's bad and get something good out of it. It's got to be good to begin with if you're going to distill it. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Is that true?
That's true. That's a fact.
Okay. All right. I'm gonna roll with that. All right.
So the fact checkers are looking that up right now.
The fact checkers are doing that.
Jackie says no, but
Jackie just totally.
I don't like to disagree with Jackie, but on this one,
on a hot day, Jackie, try it on a hot day. Just crack one. It's good. Trust me.
Somebody once threw me one when I was on the river. I was boating by myself, and from the Button, you know where that is. There's like this cool hangout by the river. Makes you feel like you're in Popeye the movie with Robin Williams when you're hanging around the Button. Anyway, somebody threw me an Icy Light Mango, and maybe that's it. It made my day.
Like Tom Brady throwing the Lombardi Trophy.
Bingo.
From boat to boat. Yeah.
It was like a Capri Sun got thrown at and it just slammed right into my hand, and then I punched it and drank it. It was like a commercial.
Man, I just thought of something that I wish I'd brought up when John was on. I'll text it to you now. I think John and Rach would have loved this. I'm just going to text it to you.
We could maybe source John I can just from a bird's eye view here.
All right, I'm just saying I'm going to find it here. I'm putting it on the text here right now. It was an article that was unearthed about from I guess 82 it might have been. It's on there, right? So it's like from 38 years ago, about a certain quarterback from the Pittsburgh Steelers using an alias when he went in for elbow surgery. I think it might be cool to bring that up if they're still there. Let's bring out Erin, unless John's at the ready. Okay, there it is. Never mind. Okay, look, Steelers Tom
John
Brady.
looks like he's doing something, but I see Rachel. Oh, he's
Rach.
Up.
Okay, John, Rach. Are you with us? Okay. They're kind of muted.
I think you're muted, yeah.
Unmute that thing.
I got it.
All right, real quick, before we get to Erin. So this article came across my eyes today. Steelers Tom Brady undergoes arm surgery. Terry Bradshaw, when he was in, I guess, Tallahassee or wherever, went to get his elbow surgery before he ended up retiring. And he used an alias when he did that, and that alias was Thomas Brady.
Oh
Get
my
out.
God.
I never heard that.
This just came across today. I thought you guys would get a kick out of this.
So do you think it's Terry Bradshaw who's been playing for the Patriots and now the Buccaneers?
Well, they both are number 12. You know, so
maybe it's like one of those Scooby-Doo things where he rips off the mask and it's really Terry Bradshaw.
he rips off the mask, and that perfect body that he's measured every drop of fluid and food.
Well, it's like the opposite of a
30
fat
years.
suit. He just like
It just unpacks. It just drops it. It's just Terry Bradshaw's body, and he's like, and I'd have got away with it too if it wasn't for you, darn Gronkowski.
You kids.
Yeah,
it's like Terry Bradshaw. He's still holding like a bottle of like Jack Daniels. Like
anyway, I'm sorry to bring you guys back, but this blew my mind that that was the name. Small world.
We were enjoying all the cookies in your green room here, so we appreciate it.
Oh, all right. Hey, sure thing, guys. Because we take care of our guests.
We really do.
Right, well, thanks, guys. If anything else you want to jump in, you want to hop in, you just let us know if you want to find out about farm to table stuff.
Sounds good. Thanks.
All right, take it easy, John. Thanks, Rich. All right, so without further ado, let's bring out our next guest. We're very excited to have her here. Every Wednesday night, we have a segment which hypes up everything farm to table. Brought to you from Grow Pittsburgh. You can find out at farmtotablepa.com. Keep it real, keep it local, buying fresh. You can find everything you need on that website. But tonight, we have her, the woman, the myth, the legend, Erin Hart. What's up, Erin? Welcome back.
How are you?
I'm all right. How are you? Thanks for coming back. Thanks for waiting a little bit. We got sidetracked with the Terry Bradshaw Tom Brady alias.
No, that was crazy. That was great to see John and Rachel.
Yeah, they're fantastic.
I was at Jackie's second anniversary down at Love Rocks Cafe a couple weeks ago, and they were there setting up an interview. So they were outside. Hey, Jackie. They were outside Love Rocks Cafe, and Jackie she brought a weighted blanket to keep herself warm because it was like 20 degrees.
Okay. I want to talk to you about farm to table. I want to talk about the spring. I want to talk to you about seeds. I want to talk about all this stuff. But a weighted blanket?
Yeah, they're awesome.
Okay. My sister bought Eileen and I each a weighted blanket. And
nice.
Legit, it's the only time my wife has taken a nap. Like since I've known her.
Like being held down.
It was like a Sunday.
Is it 15 or 20 pounds? How many pounds do you guys have?
I don't know. Whatever, 15, 20, whatever it takes. I don't know.
Yeah.
I don't know exactly what the thing was there. But like legit, I got under it once. I wasn't able to take a nap because like I had to go jump and do something. But it is a thing that actually I recommend. So it's Jackie Page approved, as do I. So anyway.
Yeah.
So talk to me, Erin. Spring has almost sprung.
Spring is coming. So I was thinking about what we could talk about tonight, and I really wanted to talk about, it's like March 3rd. So all of a sudden we went from being like 7 degrees, and I had like my ceiling was collapsing and our basement was flooding, to now it was so sunny. I went for a walk and it's like so nice. So and it's March 3rd. So a year ago I was at the convention center getting set up for the, Pittsburgh Home and Garden show. And I thought, right after this is when we all got shut down on, like, I started staying home, like March 10th was like the last thing we did. So I went back and looked at the pictures from last year of like what's going to be coming up. Cause I really think, because of course we are in a pandemic, so being safe, but also like taking advantage of all of these sort of reminders that we like hit last season. So going back, like I guess 4 seasons ago, back in spring of 2020. So like what lessons did we learn and what can we do this year to just sort of like springboard into buying local or growing your own food, like just having hope right now. Just knowing that when Biden said that like everybody would have a vaccine by Memorial Day, that's what I've been, I think, like I'm 48. I think I'll probably be able to get vaccinated both shots by Memorial Day. And then he said that and I was like, oh, good. So like, I'm not, he's talking to the manufacturers. I think
now joined forces in our in-show poll tonight.
No, isn't that J&J and Merck.
Yeah.
But I think what's really cool is like, there's, thinking like we're right back where we started a year ago, like cases are worse now in Allegheny County than
definitely
they were until like November or something. But we have like the stuff on the horizon, and just being able to be outside is huge. So getting that fresh air, knowing that we can grow food, the supply chains are a lot more reliable than they were last year. Okay, this was the last photo. So this was in May. This was on May 5th, 2020. This is in our backyard. My kids had this little pop-up tent from when they went to swim meets. So they put it over their hammock because by May 5th of last year, they were like so sick of being inside that they would go out there in the rain and lay in the hammock under the tent. So I just thought that was kind of funny. But it
genius.
just shows like
milestones are crazy. I mean, like you're talking about this. We're at week 51 right now.
Yeah.
We're really close to a year here.
Yeah.
On this show, and just thinking about where I was a year ago at this, like, on this day kind of thing. It's kind of crazy that you
on March 3rd last year, I looked at my pictures, and I was at the convention center having a Farm Bureau tractor trailer delivered, to like an educational trailer that you would have 20 people in at one time in a tractor trailer, which
like a bookmobile.
Exactly.
Right. Come on.
So yeah. So do you want to show another picture?
Well, if Dave wants to bring it up, I think I would like to see it.
Okay. I'd rather look at a picture than like my face.
Oh, put up another picture, Dave. But leave Erin and take me out.
Anyone in particular?
No, I'll just talk about whatever I see, and I'll tell you what day it was and what was happening. Okay, this is great. So this was from April 12th, 2020.
My sister's birthday.
I was ordering food from local farms, and those two little heads of lettuce came in a food box, and they were from the farm in Brownsville, PA, in Fayette County. The Fayette County Food Bank has their own farm. So when I got them, they were these little plugs, and the lettuce was very wilted. So I just put them in these jars that I had on my counter. I just put them up on our windowsill. You can see the paint chipping. But they perked right up, and then we used the lettuce, and then we ended up planting those in our garden. And then we had that lettuce growing like all summer long. So that was just from, so if you get like hydroponic lettuce, and the stuff that's in the middle, that's basil that was cut from like a CSA. You could see like the roots growing.
So if that's just in water.
Pardon me?
And that's just in a cup of water.
It's just in a glass of water. Yeah. So if you have basil growing in your garden or mint, and you cut it and put it in a jar, it will just grow roots, and you could plant it in a pot of soil, and it will grow like a whole,
So this picture is actually great for me because like you are so farm to table that you don't have flowers on your windowsill. You have lettuce. You have basil. You're like this is what decorates.
Patrick,
this is what decorates Erin's house.
People, I'm so it's so in my head because I've been doing it for so long. It's hard for me to even describe. That's why I was like, I'm just going to send you guys some pictures and give you guys
Valentine's Day, wheatgrass.
Exactly.
That's what you get. You get a big thing of wheatgrass. You put it on the windowsill.
And ignore.
Hey, honey, who loves you, honey? That's what you get.
And then you get ignored by the ones you love, which is sometimes a great thing. Okay, so these are seeds from their cucumbers, I believe, from Conover Farms. On March 28th, 2020. So I went out this is crazy. This is so this is so farm to table. On March 28th last spring, I drove out to Weatherbury Farms because I had ordered some flour. So they had this drive up, and so they were wearing masks. I was wearing a mask. You just drove up, and then whatever you ordered, they would put in the back of your car. So I ordered like oatmeal and flour, and I always get stuff from Weatherbury. But in front of me was the Conovers, which is Jeff and Diana Conover. Their farm is right near Weatherbury Farm out in Burgettstown, PA. So I said to them, hey, you guys, I want some pickles, because I knew we were going to be locked down for This was March 28th. I knew we were going to be stuck.
wow.
And Conover has like the best pickles. So they had pickles in the harvest tasting box that we sent over. So they said, "Oh, come on over." So I drove over to Conover's, and Diane gave me like a tour all over. And Jeff was like canning. I was wearing a mask. They were wearing masks. But this is to show that like this. So these seeds on March that were on like this level, they were probably planted. It would be like 3.5 weeks from now. So this is like to show like they're planting seeds now. So if
the pickles
you
are really the best, by the way. But
yes.
Really
So what's really kind of interesting is like you can impact what you're eating this summer just by telling a farm, like, I want to buy from you all summer, so I'm going to buy a CSA. So they find out how many people want a CSA, and they can plan for it, and they can still plant things now because this is when they're planting.
So this is the time right now. You can get in right now.
Yes.
So what are some of the places that are ready for these CSAs?
Well, Elisa from Emerald Valley she's selling CSAs for a winter CSA. And they're doing weekly deliveries. Harvey Farms Pittsburgh, they're doing weekly deliveries. Medium rare foods. I need to get Shane on with you guys. Shane Hall, he has and he's another local food distributor. He's very into like the restaurant scene and this like extremely high quality food, just like Elisa, but he's like he's worked in the Pittsburgh restaurant market for a long time. I order from him. I love the stuff that he gets. He gets food from Serenity Hill Farms, Broad Run Farms, like just farms that I know of that I normally wouldn't like drive to Natrona Heights and go pick stuff up. But, what these aggregators are doing, they make it super easy to go online and just order online, and then they deliver it to your door. So all three of these deliver to your door.
The delivery thing is what freaks me out. Like
it's so great.
How can you pass on it if they're literally going to deliver it to your door?
I couldn't drive. I couldn't drive from December 15th until I started driving again, like on February, probably like 20 or maybe 17th or something like that.
Probably an automatic, right?
Or 22. I do have an automatic now. I used to drive a stick.
I was like that
which really aggravated. So I had this injury in my right shoulder. So the stick, I drove a stick my entire life until like a year and a half ago. I had to get rid of it because of my shoulder. That's the
shittiest thing to have to.
I know.
To
I was driving like a Ford Escort and like a Honda Civic. It wasn't like a Viper or like a Porsche. But
I can't believe that you said Viper first.
That's my dream car.
The Viper?
Viper,
do they still make that Viper?
I don't know.
I remember it from like the 90s. Remember that when that came out, that was like a Batmobile. It was like it looked like a Batmobile, right? The Viper, the Dodge Viper. Yeah,
I dated a guy in college who was really into cars, and he actually taught me how to drive a stick. So he was really into like Vipers. So I don't know. I mean, like we haven't kept in touch. That'll be me. Exactly.
That's you and a Viper. Here's what's crazy about that. Both those people's heads are above the windshield.
There's 6 speeds. That was like the first car I ever heard of that had 6 speeds. So I'll be driving, not whoever those people are. Yeah.
That's gonna be you. You'll be behind the wheel. Like that's you're rehabbing so you can drive a Viper. Exactly. That's gonna be your retirement vehicle.
Well, now though, when you get a standard transmission, like none of it's really standard. Now they all have like computers changing the gears for you, and you like hit like a little thing on the wheel.
I have an old Ford, and I love driving stick with it just for that particular reason.
Right.
But anyway,
so that's a tangent. So there's going to be a ton of more farms getting their CSAs. Who Cooks For You Farm will be offering CSA shares in Pittsburgh all over. They actually are going to be marketing to the Kretschmann list. And I would say, they're comparable. I mean, they're two totally different farms, but I've worked with Who Cooks For You Farm. They're awesome. And they're growing like well into the late fall. Probably I'm sure they're growing now. You know, all these people, they're so brilliant. I bought an Amaryllis plant from Cherry Valley Organics. It is getting a fourth bloom on it right now down in my living room. It's crazy. Because they know how to grow things.
What's an Amaryllis?
It's a plant. I would send you a picture, but my son has my phone.
That's okay.
It's one of those plants at Christmas that has like the red. There's Who Cooks For You Farm. That's from the Bloomfield Farmers Market from last year.
By the way, everybody, all the links to every farm that Erin's talking about are in our chat feed right now. If you want to find a resource to it, you can always go to FARM2TABLEPA.com to find everything you need. But go on.
So Cherry Valley Organics, Dreamtime Farm is another farm that's up in. She might be in Butler County. She might be further north. I think she's further north, maybe Venango. Lynn, she's incredible. And she always has always these interesting kinds of things that you can add on. But there's Dillner's, Harvest Valley.
So there's a lot of stuff.
Farm.
I mean, how can people choose? I mean, is each one like specific for something, or has everybody got a nice wide variety?
Everybody is different. So, they're all, Cherry Valley Organics has cut flowers. You can add on eggs. You can buy cheese. A place like Dillner's, their boxes are, I would say, like very consumer friendly in terms of like things that are just like cucumbers, tomatoes, peppers, corn, cantaloupe. They're going to be things that you've always had. And so Dillner's is a great way to start. They have small and large boxes. A lot of farms do. So that's how you would decide, Patrick. Also, like who has drop sites near you. So, we're updating our CSA list right now, and we're going to be working on a farmers market list as well. And we will be publishing sort of like a little mini 2021 local food guide. And it'll be printed in the city paper. So that'll be really exciting. And Jackie, yes.
Yes, you can drive it. She'll hang out on the passenger side of her best friend's ride trying to holler at me because I would be a scrub. So anyway, an old Ford. LOL. Oh shit, there's my car.
Is that a Mustang?
Yeah, it's my Mustang.
Nice.
How did you even pull that? Dave, did you time that? Like the message came.
I've been waiting for the right moment to drop that one.
I haven't ever even seen that picture. Anyway, that was my old Mustang.
That's awesome.
Thank you. Dave, that's right outside your house.
It's no Dodge Viper, though.
What year is that?
That's a 68.
My dad had a Mustang like that when we were little.
Really? Like a fastback?
And it was that I'm sure. No, it was like, he had 2 kids. But it was that exact
You could fit
same
them in there. You could fit 2 in there. They'd have to sit on top.
Yeah, we'd sit in the back.
Yeah, that's great. I'm waiting. Like the safety laws have changed a lot because
with the kids. Yeah.
With the kids, I can't just throw. I can't just throw pepper in the back. Yeah.
I know. I'm the second of 5 daughters, and we used to pass my little sisters up to my mom, like on road trips. We'd be like, "She's screaming," and we would pass her up into the front seat.
Oh my God, that's fine. I used to drive the car. My father would put me on his lap, and I'd steer. I mean, this is a whole
drive. I know.
This is a whole. This is a whole thing. I'm glad. I'm sure safety first and everything. But anyway, back to the farms. Even though that Mustang was green. Highland green, but let's talk some more here. We got Western PA's local food guide here. This came up.
Yes, so we will be updating this year, but there's farms are putting their information on there, so that will be coming, like more downloadable, kind of easy types of things. So for now, I would really start thinking about seeds. We're going to be doing another class with Doug Oster coming up.
Oh, he's awesome.
And it's going to be a free registration for everyone. Last year, we sold, like, people could sign up for the class and pay for it. But this year, we're sponsoring the whole thing. So anybody could sign up and take it. I think it'll be awesome. Doug taught probably 14 weeks of classes last year between spring and then summer, and then he did one in the fall. and they were amazing.
Dude's fascinating too. I could see him being like the best person to teach a class on this.
He is he's so interesting, and he reminds me so much of my mom's brothers, especially my Uncle Dave, who's my godfather. So like listening to Doug, especially at the beginning of the pandemic, because we started his classes back in April of 2020. It was so... I was doing all this really intense work, but listening to these classes and getting ready for the garden, and I wasn't traveling for work, so I was home, so I could do a garden. It was amazing. It was just completely,
and
very interesting. And I think it helps with like mental health, and like seeing something grow is just, I mean, I hope that, we can do as many things as possible to help people bounce back from this.
And now's the time. I mean, here's the thing. Like, there's a light at the end of the tunnel, right? I'm seeing it. I'm cautiously optimistic.
Yeah.
That this isn't going to go for another 12 months. But I'm cautiously optimistic this is coming. But we're still not out of the woods yet. I'm just going to put as many puns in here as I can. We still got at least 4 or 5 months left of keeping our shit together.
Yeah. And for people that were have been isolated, it's been devastating. So,
but watching something grow, like you said,
yes,
Doug's got those seed shacks that are going in different neighborhoods.
Yes.
I know, and other things that you can do to grow something. It's very extraordinarily therapeutic.
Yeah, you don't even need to grow like a huge tomato plant. You could grow seeds and just eat the sprouts, or like the microgreens, and just to give you it gives you this huge boost of nutrition, but it also just gives you that like spirit of seeing something grow. I mean, we do a lot of in my other work, not with Farm to Table, but in our healthcare company, we do a lot of work in senior high-rise buildings. And I was thinking we should buy everyone a goldfish and just put it on a bowl on their little dining room table that they have in their 1-bedroom apartments. Just because just having a little creature to care for. But a plant can be the same thing. A plant is, you could eat
that thing.
And you can eat the fish too, but that would not be, you don't want to eat your little friend. Yeah. But the plants are good.
Back. I almost said that, when we were talking before about Valentine's Day, your gifts would be a head of lettuce or something. I was thinking of Bill Murray's dad in Scrooged, where he gets this. What's that? It's 5 pounds of veal. You know what I mean? That's what he gets to shut up. That's what you get for Christmas, that kind of thing. Anyway. But which also would be a fine gift in any market, 5 pounds of that. But anyway, Erin, we're gonna have to start wrapping here soon. Is there anything else you wanted to hit on before we announced the winner of our whopper of a collaboration poll?
No. This has been great. Thank you.
This is fantastic. Thank you so much. And everybody, be sure to tune in every Wednesday because we're going to have another installment coming to you from Farm to Table of Western Pennsylvania, FARM2TABLEPA.com. You can go there and find out everything you need to do from living farm to table, keeping it fresh, keeping it local. Erin, thanks so much for being here.
Thank you, guys. Have a great night.
Sure thing. Take it easy, Erin. We'll see Erin or somebody else of her ilk on Wednesday coming up. Thanks, Erin.
Bye.
Sure. Thank you. All right, folks. As the music is playing, and I made a reference from Scrooged here in March when it's finally starting to get done with 5 pounds of veal. We're wrapping things up. Dave, do you want to call the winner to this in-show poll here? Pete doesn't.
It's coming up. Let's find out what the people want.
I'm excited to go to the farmer's market this Saturday.
Which one are you going to?
Bloomfield Farmer's Market.
Nice. What are you looking to pick up?
I'm going to get some microgreens.
Oh.
I'm going to get some mushrooms.
Dude, are you going to start growing again?
Oh yeah.
When is that starting for you? What's happening?
I don't think you start planting until May. Erin's maybe farmers start earlier. Maybe they've got some kind of secret, but I was told don't plant anything before May because you don't want to plant in case there's a frost. But
right, Dave, get that down.
I guess it looks like Dave won this one.
Sorry, guys. Sorry, JJ. Boom.
We've got 10 times as many people here, And
No
like
one-
nobody's
no one
voting.
votes.
No one
Everyone's-
votes. Everyone's
they
just
don't
stopped
give a
voting.
shit.
Well, what you haven't realized, folks, is we're on Twitch now.
Everybody's watching on Twitch.
We're on Twitch.
There's 5,000 people over.
We're on Twitch. We've actually got a following has moved to Twitch, but Facebook, we still love you. We'll still be there, and the YouTubes will be there as well.
We'll be streaming some Mario Kart.
Farmers
a
are
little later
planting
tonight.
in greenhouses, Pete. In greenhouses.
Oh,
Starting
there
now.
you go. Makes sense then. All right.
Erin,
thanks for
just had to
clarifying,
chime back
Erin.
in. She went to the chat instead of just waving her arms and making Dave bring her back in. But anyway, this has been a fun show as always tonight. Wrapping up 154.
What are you 2 sips shy of?
2 sips shy. What do you mean? What does that
It's your
mean?
name,
What?
buddy. It's your name.
Oh Christ, Dave! I don't even look. Dave changes my name like 25 times during the show. Dave, 2 sips shy. What? Did I miss something? What is that from? What is that reference?
I got no idea. Just
3-peat. That's good. 3-peat. That's good. Actually, we're probably going to get shut down because I think a certain ex NBA coach has trademarked 3-peat and patented that.
Is that true?
That phrase. Yeah, it is.
The name?
3-peat. 3-peat.
No.
Because 3-peat. When the Bulls were going, did the 3-peat, and then when they did the second 3-peat, their coach,
I took care of it. I don't want to get us in trouble.
Dr. Pepper MD. That's good. I'll take it. But yeah, the 3-peat has been trademarked. So you can, well, we can talk about it on the thing. I mean, everybody does. It's just you can't like put it on a shirt or something. Like, let's say like the
Oh, yeah,
Penguins.
just wait till tomorrow.
Right. Well, you're pretty good at shirts. But like when the Penguins have done back to back, they couldn't go out and say like going to 3-peat or something. I'm sure somebody.
I'm sure they will.
I'm sure somebody went and patented, trademarked one for the thumb, right? So like only like he didn't come up with it, but he had the patent for it. So he had the trademark on it, not patent, but whatever. Anyway, it's a weird game. It's a weird game. It's all paperwork.
One of those things.
It's one of those things. Speaking of one of those things, I think we should wrap the show tonight and get ready for tomorrow. Kate Romaine's got something special for us, and we got the folks from Allegheny Eats talking about a nice milestone that they're quickly approaching. It's a great cause and a great thing that they're doing there. One of my favorite stories of collaborations that came out of this pandemic, which probably should have been on our poll instead of Dave's facial hair, which just took over from there. But anyway, folks, thank you all. Keep on wearing your masks. Keep on taking care of each other. Wash your hands. We're getting through this. We've got something. It's on the horizon, but we got to keep our stuff together. And remember, just because somebody in Texas is acting like he's the mayor from Jaws, doesn't mean you have to do that. What happens in Texas doesn't necessarily stay in Texas. So let's all keep our masks on and take care of each other. Thank you very much. And Dolly Parton's amazing.
Off tonight.
Pete, you really got to work on this. I mean, this would have been good in like October. It's more like a Halloween vibe.
You're supposed to stick the little cables in the thing, and you stick it in the other thing to make the sounds get crazy.
Why don't you get a theremin? Isn't there an app for that?
That sounds very Eastern European.
Maybe like in a movie, somebody's walking down a hall.
It's the story of a couple young kids looking for sweets, and then they get into trouble.
Yeah, because they find a house that's built of sweets, I think. All right.
Realize
Put the car back. It's the best Dodge Viper I've ever seen. Sweet Dodge Viper. I'm sorry if you're still watching. Turn it off.
Great show,
Turn it off.
everybody!